Yeah, Sylvie, you're the dream that sparks my days, shining like the sun, lighting up my waves. With every glance you catch me by surprise. You're the apple of my eyes, my sweet alibis. In this game of life, you're my favorite play. No one can stop me, I'm loving you all day. Oh Sylvie, you're my sunshine, my delight. In this beautiful life, you're my guiding light. Forever I'll cherish, forever I'll stay. With you in my arms, love won't fade away. If God hit restart, I'd pick you again. With your heart of gold, love, you're my closest friend. Attractive and kind, like a star in the night. Sylvie, you're my life, you make everything right. With every beat, it's you that I choose. In this crazy world, this love I won't lose. Oh Sylvie, you're my sunshine, my delight. In this beautiful life, you're my guiding light. Forever I'll cherish, forever I'll stay. With you in my arms, love won't fade away. With you in my arms, love won't fade away. If God hit restart, I'd pick you again. With your heart of gold, love, you're my closest friend. Attractive and kind, like a star in the night. Sylvie, you're my life, you make everything right. With every beat, it's you that I choose. In this crazy world, this love I won't lose. Oh Sylvie, you're my sunshine, my delight. Forever I'll stay. With you in my arms, love won't fade away. With you in my arms, love won't fade away. Sylvie, you're the reason I rise each day. In this love so bright, forever we'll play.
Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're diving into the shocking story of Dalila, a successful Kenyan woman who fell victim to an online dating scam. Dalila was a proud member of parliament and a savvy businesswoman owning a successful real estate company. Despite her accomplishments, she longed for love and decided to try online dating. Little did she know, her search for love would lead her down a path of deceit and heartbreak. Join me as we unravel the web of lies spun by a skilled con artist and the devastating impact on Dalila'S life. Dalila lived in Nairobi, enjoying a life of luxury and philanthropy. She was a modern woman, navigating a world that wasn't always kind to ambitious women. Despite her confident exterior, Dalila yearned for a deep romantic connection. Online dating seemed like the perfect solution, promising to connect her with like-minded individuals. With hope, Dalila created a profile, unaware of the predator lurking in the shadows. Dalila spent hours browsing profiles, looking for someone who appreciated intelligence and ambition. One evening, she found Jean-Pierre, a handsome commercial pilot from France. His profile hinted at a life filled with adventure and excitement, and Dalila felt a flutter of excitement. She messaged him, and to her delight, he responded immediately. Jean-Pierre's messages were charming and engaging, making Dalila feel seen and understood. As weeks passed, they discussed everything from politics to favorite books, and Dalila was smitten. Jean-Pierre's undeniable charm made her feel special, cherished, and eager to meet him face to face. Jean-Pierre regaled Dalila with stories of his adventures as a pilot, describing breathtaking sunsets and adrenaline-filled landings. He sent pictures of himself in uniform and even a photo of his pilot's license, making Dalila feel secure. Their conversations turned romantic, with Jean-Pierre promising a future filled with love and unforgettable journeys. He spoke of whisking her away to Paris and sharing a moonlit balcony overlooking the Seine. Dalila found herself falling deeper under his spell, feeling connected to someone she had never met in person. It felt like fate had brought them together. Despite the growing connection, Dalila remained cautious and valued honesty. Jean-Pierre assured her of his commitment and suggested they video chat. However, every time they scheduled a call, something came up on his end. His excuses were always plausible, and Dalila chose to believe him. reasoning that his job was demanding. Despite her better judgment, a seed of doubt was sown in Dalila'S mind. She decided to confide in her best friend, sharing her concerns and hopes for the future. Dalila'S best friend Annika listened patiently as Dalila described her online romance. Annika voiced her concerns, pointing out the lack of video chats and the potential for online scams. Dalila admitted she had asked Jean-Pierre several times, but something always came up. Annika suggested trying again and rethinking things if he kept making excuses. Dalila trusted Annika's judgment and knew she couldn't ignore the red flags any longer. She had to confront Jean-Pierre about the video calls and demand honesty. That evening, Dalila received a distressing message from Jean-Pierre. He claimed his passport and wallet were stolen, leaving him stranded in Paris. Jean-Pierre pleaded for Dalila'S help, asking her to wire money for a new passport and flight. Dalila was torn between concern for Jean-Pierre and a growing sense of unease. The timing of his plea seemed too coincidental, just as she was about to confront him. Annika's words echoed in her mind. Wouldn't it be better to be safe than sorry? Dalila faced a difficult decision. Dalila paced back and forth, her phone clutched tightly in her hand. She wanted to believe Jean-Pierre but couldn't ignore the red flags. Wiring money to someone she had never met was a huge risk. She thought about calling Annika for advice but feared being told not to send the money. The weight of the decision pressed down on her. In the end, love triumphed over doubt. Dalila wired Jean-Pierre the money, hoping this was just a temporary setback. Jean-Pierre's messages were filled with gratitude and promises of a future together. Dalila pushed aside her doubts and dreamed of their reunion. Little did she know this was just the beginning of a long and painful nightmare. Days turned into weeks, and Jean-Pierre's arrival never materialized. Each time Dalila questioned him, he offered new, elaborate excuses. His messages became less frequent and more focused on his misfortunes and need for money. Dalila justified his excuses, clinging to hope. The amounts he requested grew larger, and his pleas became more desperate. Dalila felt trapped in a cycle of hope and despair. Despite her growing unease, Dalila continued to send money. Annika became increasingly concerned, pointing out the inconsistencies in Jean-Pierre's stories. Dalila defended Jean-Pierre but knew deep down that Annika was right. The nagging doubts were becoming harder to ignore. The more money she sent, the further away Jean-Pierre seemed to slip. Dalila felt like a prisoner in her own web of lies, trapped in a cycle of hope and despair. Finally, after nearly a year of broken promises and unfulfilled expectations, Dalila reached her breaking point. She had depleted a significant portion of her savings, jeopardizing her financial security, all for a man she had never met, a man who seemed to exist only in the digital ether. She decided to confront Jean-Pierre, demanding answers, proof of his identity, a concrete date for his arrival in Kenya. She sent him a strongly worded message expressing her doubts, her frustration, and her growing suspicion that he wasn't who he claimed to be. To her surprise, Jean-Pierre responded with a wave of anger and indignation. He denied her accusations, calling her crazy for doubting his love and sincerity. He claimed she was being manipulated by others, that people were jealous of their love and were trying to tear them apart. He spun a tale of betrayal and conspiracy, claiming his phone had been hacked, his emails intercepted, his every move sabotaged by those who wanted to see them fail. He begged her to trust him, to believe in their love, to give him just a little more time to sort out the mess and finally be with her. His words, once filled with charm and affection, now rang hollow in Dalila'S ears. The mask had slipped, revealing the true nature of the man she had fallen for. A cold realization washed over her. She had been played, deceived, taken advantage of by a master manipulator. The scales had fallen from Dalila'S eyes. The realization that the man she loved, the man she had poured her heart and soul into, was nothing more than a figment of her imagination, a carefully constructed persona designed to exploit her, hit her with the force of a physical blow. The pain was raw, visceral, a mixture of betrayal, humiliation, and a profound sense of loss. But amidst the emotional turmoil, a steely resolve began to solidify within Dalila. She had been deceived, manipulated, taken advantage of, but she refused to be a victim. She would uncover the truth, expose the man who had wronged her, and reclaim her dignity. Dalila'S first step was to confide in Annika, who listened with a heavy heart as Dalila recounted the confrontation and Jean-Pierre's desperate attempts to maintain the facade. Annika, though heartbroken for her friend, was also relieved that the truth was finally out in the open. She had always suspected something was amiss, and now she was determined to help Dalila seek justice. Together, they began to piece together the fragments of Jean-Pierre's fabricated life. They scoured the internet, searching for any information that could corroborate his claims, any digital footprint that could lead them to his true identity. They contacted the airline he claimed to work for, only to discover that no one by that name had ever been employed there. Dalila and Annika delved deeper into the world of online dating scams. Their eyes opened to the sophisticated tactics employed by these digital predators. They discovered online forums and support groups filled with stories eerily similar to Dalila'S. Stories of individuals who had been charmed, manipulated, and financially drained by con artists hiding behind carefully crafted online personas. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Dalila and Annika began to analyze Jean-Pierre's messages, looking for telltale signs of a scam. They noticed patterns in his language, generic phrases, and recycled stories that appeared in multiple online accounts associated with romance scams. The romantic poems he had sent, the ones that had made her heart flutter, were copied verbatim from online poetry websites. They discovered that the photos he had sent, the ones that had made her believe in his existence, were actually stock photos, readily available online. The picture of his pilot's license, the one that had reassured her of his legitimacy, was a clever forgery, easily obtainable on the dark web. Their investigation led them to a network of online scammers operating out of Nigeria, individuals who specialized in exploiting vulnerable individuals seeking love and companionship online. These scammers were masters of manipulation, skilled in creating believable personas, exploiting emotional vulnerabilities, and maintaining their charade for months, even years, until their victims were emotionally and financially drained. The weight of Dalila'S discovery was crushing. The realization that she had been so thoroughly deceived, that her love, her trust, her vulnerability had been so callously exploited, sent her reeling. The man she thought she knew, the man she had envisioned a future with, had never existed. It was all a cruel illusion, a carefully constructed lie designed to steal her money and her dignity. The shame was almost unbearable. Dalila, a successful, intelligent, and independent woman, had fallen prey to a scam that now seemed so obvious, so avoidable. How could she have been so blind, so trusting, so willing to ignore the red flags that had been waving in her face all along? The financial loss was significant, but it paled in comparison to the emotional toll the scam had taken on Dalila. Her self-esteem was shattered, her trust in others irrevocably broken. She withdrew from her friends, her family, her work, consumed by a sense of shame and self-recrimination. Annika, however, refused to let her friend wallow in despair. She warned others about the dangers of online dating scams. Emboldened by Annika's support and fueled by a desire for justice, Dalila contacted the Kenyan authorities and filed a report with the cybercrime unit. She handed over all the evidence she had gathered: the messages, the emails, the money transfer records, the fake photos and documents. She knew that the chances of apprehending the scammer were slim. These individuals were adept at covering their tracks, operating from behind a veil of anonymity, often using stolen identities and untraceable communication channels. But Dalila was determined to do everything in her power to expose him, to hold him accountable for his actions, and to prevent others from falling victim to his deceit. The police investigation was slow and arduous, but Dalila refused to give up hope. She shared her story with local media, raising awareness about the prevalence of online dating scams and urging others to be cautious when engaging in online relationships. Her story resonated with many. Women from all walks of life came forward sharing their own experiences with online dating scams, their stories a testament to the devastating emotional and financial toll these crimes can take on their victims. Dalila'S story is a stark reminder that love can be a battlefield, especially in the digital age. While online dating has connected countless individuals, it has also become a breeding ground for scammers seeking to exploit the vulnerable. Dalila'S ordeal offers valuable lessons for all of us. Vigilance, discernment, and skepticism are essential in online relationships. Recognizing red flags like canceled video calls, elaborate excuses, and constant requests for money is crucial. If something feels off, it probably is. Conduct thorough background checks, verify your online connections, and check their social media profiles. Seek support from trusted friends and family. Remember, you are not alone. If you suspect you're being scammed, reach out for help. There are resources and support groups available. The digital age has revolutionized the way we connect, communicate, and even fall in love. But with these advancements come new challenges and risks. Protecting yourself from online dating scams requires vigilance, common sense, and skepticism. Here are a few tips to help you stay safe in the digital dating world. Take your time. Don't rush into online relationships. Get to know the person gradually before sharing personal information or meeting in person. Be wary of overly charming profiles. Scammers often create profiles that seem too good to be true. Be cautious of individuals who shower you with excessive compliments or pressure you for personal information or money. Insist on video calls to verify someone's identity. If someone avoids video calls, it's a major red flag. Never send money to someone you haven't met in person. Trust your gut. If something feels off, trust your instincts. It's better to be safe than sorry. Report suspicious activity to the dating app and authorities. By following these tips, you can enjoy online dating while minimizing risks. Remember, knowledge is power. Stay informed and stay safe.